What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Round 7 preview, Carlton and Essendon. I've been waiting for this one for a while. There are a couple of fixtures every single season that just get me personally more excited than the others. I understand it's 4 points and all of that, and nobody wants to put the mayo on things and whatever, but it's Essendon, and there is not a single team in this league that I fucking hate more than Essendon. I'm sure we've all got those supporters who, have given us a lot of grief over the years, salary cap jokes. They tend to generally come louder by the Essendon supporters for whatever reason. And obviously they've had an interesting journey since the drug saga, which to this day they still deny that they were involved in, which is quite hilarious. But, I can talk about the rivalry, I can talk about what it means, I can talk about what I want to see from the players, which I will. But reality is, enough is enough. Like, enough is enough with our group and this mediocrity and these close, performances against good teams. And we now come up against a team who I think, for the most part in our eyes, well, it should be this way, I think. We should be beating Essendon. We should be further ahead in our development than what Essendon are. They've pretty much just started a rebuild for the most part. And I remember watching them early in the season and, watching their kids come in and saying to myself, oh, what a shame I can't really give the banter because, they're rebuilding and we're obviously, we had just won 2 in a row and whatnot. We were 2-2 and now we find ourselves below them on the ladder. And it is what it is. That's the reality of the situation. So, I've now started to receive messages from Essendon supporters with banter. Could you fucking believe it? They've chirped up again. And I live this week with, and I'm just being dead honest, I think we'll win. I'm very sure we'll win. However, there is a part of me, a small part of me, we'll say 25% of me this week, which lives in a state of genuine fear. And that's just me being real. Fear of what could happen and what could be if we don't win this week. I have a fear of the division amongst the supporter base. I have a fear of the players and their relationship with the coach and the football club. I have a fear of the accountability that's going to need to be taken by senior people, whether it's coaches, administrators, and whatnot. I just have a fear. And I think it's definitely got to do with some PTSD from just life as a Carlton supporter. But I think also, 2-5, just unacceptable. Beyond unacceptable. I mean, we don't accept losing anymore, but losing to this Essendon team this week would just mean, it would just be devastating on so many fronts. I mean, even just thinking about fan cams and, they're hard to manage after a loss as it is. But I just have a fear about this week. So I'm just being honest about my feelings. Having said that, pretty confident we can get the job done. I mean, I just, at some point, enough has to be enough. They're not babies anymore. They're not in their first and second years anymore. They're in that bracket where, they call this the young man's game. They're in that bracket where they should really be taking over the competition as a collective. There's so many games that we've put into these kids who are now young men or men who should be better than what they are. And whatever you think the reason is, development or recruiting, the reality is we just should be better than what we are right now, and we're not. And this is the game where we have to put a line in the sand. And I fucking swear, if they don't come out for 4 quarters with a focus and an intensity that is required to not only just play this game every week, but play this game against that team, that football club. If I watch them this weekend and I see a team that just doesn't really care again and just goes through the motions again and pretends like it's just another game, I'm just gonna be broken. And that's really what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna do anything other than just be really devastated. Essendon are literally the scum of the earth. And any one of you fucking Bomber supporters can come and fucking get it, yeah?
And any one of these little melody fools can get it.
Seriously, any single fucking one of you, come and see me. Pathetic supporters, pathetic football club. And, I get it. It's hard to say that when you're Carlton have had the, whatever that we have had. But, like, standards remain the same. Times have changed, but the standards will remain the same. And the standard of hatred for Essendon will never leave me. And it's probably because we're two teams that have both pretty much done nothing. And that's pretty much why we're able to hate each other the way we do, because neither one has really got on top of the other. One of the best experiences of my life to date as a Carlton supporter, as sad as this may sound for you guys who are a little older, is beating Essendon by 10 goals in the 2011 elimination final. That was magical. What a day to be alive. What a time to be alive. That was 10 years ago. That was 10 years ago. It's crazy to think that, but that was 10 years ago. So I've got to see a tenacity about us this week. I've got to see harder for longer this week, because those Bombers have injected youth into their team, and it has sparked a fresh energy about them. I remember listening to the preseason talk about them, and Ben Rutten got them all to study the football club and their history and really encapsulate what their identity was. And as much as I hate the club, that is a great thing to hear. And I hope we are still doing that with our boys, and I hope there are people and past players coming in, because we are so far removed from the successful era of this football club that I think we've lost our identity a little bit, and I hope that is channeled this week from the club. I don't want to see anything other than a cause that is related to winning this week against Essendon. Period. That's how I see it. Now, in terms of changes, I don't want to see us be dropping Stocker. I don't want to see any of that. If anything, if you want to bring in some fresh energy, you maybe think about dropping in Eddie Betts and bringing in a Honey or bringing in a Durden. And I understand the notion of, well, you're playing to win, so maybe you should play Eddie Betts. But I just think we need fresh energy in the team. I'm not saying my opinion is the right one. It seems like Jack Silvani could be available this week, and if that's the case, he has to come in. He has to come in, because when he comes in, he brings with him an infectious energy that rubs off on the rest of them. And our forward pressure, I don't know what the stats are. If someone out there can find the stats of our forward pressure when he's in the team or when he's not in the team, I'd love to see it, because I think it's just better. He would have to play Levi. I'm running out of patience with him. That's the truth, from my opinion. I'm just running out of patience with him. And it's almost like when you run out of patience with him, it's just perfectly set up for a 3 or 4 goal performance, because he has played well against the Bombers in the past. He actually played very well against them last year as well. So do you drop him and play 2 talls instead? I don't know. I probably don't think so. In terms of anyone from the VFL, I don't think Setterfield has done enough to come into the side. I think he needs to do it again, the VFL, get a patch of form, get it consistently, and also get to a position where he's going to be playing the same role in the AFL as what he's playing in the VFL. That's just how I see that. But I was reading a book called Relentless by Tim Grover. Tim Grover is the trainer of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade. He talks about, the main message here, he talks about the dark side. Everyone's got a dark side, and sometimes it's fueled from childhood trauma or things that have happened to you in the past, but everybody has a dark side. And the same dark side that is used, and turns out to be used for bad for criminals, can actually be channeled and used for good with, people in business and sport and whatnot. And I would love our players to channel their dark side, embrace the fear of making the mistake and losing, because I do feel like we have a tendency to play with fear, a fear of failure. I would implore them to channel the dark side, channel whatever you need to find, because the reality of what I'm seeing is we've got to be able to find something that'll take us to a place mentally that'll allow us to perform in a way that we just haven't yet. We haven't been able to break through with the way that we play just yet. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. So each individual, I just feel like, has to find something. Got to find something that motivates you, whether it's whatever the case may be. You've got to find something that motivates you to go that little bit more. They're professional athletes. They've all got it in them. I know supporters are really frustrated with Teague for talking about how much he believes in the group, but I'm 100% with him. I haven't lost belief in this group whatsoever. I even get more angry because of how much I believe in them, but this week's just so important on so many fronts. 2-5 is beyond unacceptable for where we are and where we should be. And the standards have to be set. And we saw it spill over at the end of last week after a game against a team who we think is going to be in that top 4, top 6 group. So I don't want to imagine what happens this week if they put in a poor performance. I really don't. And I don't want to live each week with fear of what could happen if we lose. But I also don't want to do these previews and these reviews in any video on this channel without being 100% honest about how I'm feeling. So that's how it is. But what about you? Like, where are you sitting with this? You know, where do you sit with where we're at and how important this game is? Like, does the rivalry still really mean anything to you? Or am I really just, talking a load of crap about the rivalry? Because it does mean something to me, and I would hope that the players play like it means something to them. So let me know with where you're at. Let me know what you think about changes, because I think it's a very varied opinion about what we should do with the changes. Do you think it's time to start actually dropping senior blokes, or do you think, we've got to play to win and the senior blokes have to stay in to help us win? So we'll discuss that in the comments. I look forward to it. Sunday, MCG, back at the footy against the fucking scumbags that they are. And I just can't wait to be amongst it. It's going to be hostile, and that's just the way we like it. And I hope our boys rise to the occasion and put the fucking foot down on the throat, because we can blow this team away. I really do believe that. And I hope that doesn't come back and bite me, but I really do think we can put this team away. So I'll chat to you in the comments. I need to calm down. That's what I need to do. I need to calm the fuck down. I'm seeing blood at the moment. I can't wait. Let's go. Go the Mighty Blues.